Dak Davidson. And a swing.
I know you can't throw punches in this league. That's inexcusable. They're going to get you every time.
You got to be able to control your emotions, especially in a game. You know, you have no choice. If you throw a punch, you're going out the game.
Picture this. You're an undrafted rookie fighting for your NFL dream. Your dad's a Hall of Famer. Your brother barely got drafted. You've got coaches praising you left and right. And you're this close to making a $3 million roster spot. And then in 3 seconds of pure stupidity, you throw it all away with one horrible decision. This is the story of how Shilo Sanders went from Tampa Bay's favorite underdog to unemployed faster than you can say Coach Prime. And here's the crazy part, this isn't even his first time throwing a punch that cost him millions of dollars. Yeah, we're gonna get into that as well. So, you're in my shot here real quick.
What's up, boys?
Real quick, we just started Uni Diamond Talks baseball channel. If you guys want to check that out, he's almost at 25,000 subscribers. And now that we got all that out of the way, we have a quick announcement. NFL season's around the corner and Dak Prescott just needs 1 passing yard in order for his square to hit. Guys, you can sign up with my promo code microphone to get a free $50 in lineups when you play $5 or more on Prize Picks. Once you get that, use $25 on this lineup here to make $131. I've already been making picks so I can snipe the best lines early on. And in this case, I'm pairing Dak Prescott to get 1 passing yard, which is a free square, with Kyren Williams getting a touchdown at any point and Justin Jefferson scoring a touchdown versus the Chicago Bears. On top of that, if you want more plays, I've created an incredible Discord community of experts in the WAP linked in the description down below. And thank you, Prize Picks, for today's sponsor. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? During the 2025 NFL draft, we were all paying very close attention to Shedeur Sanders' free fall, but during that free fall, his brother Shilo said something that was very telling and honest about what his current draft stock was.
See, bro, I don't even know what they're gonna do with me, bro, because they're doing you like this.
So the NFL draft ends, and while his younger brother Shedeur Sanders got picked up by the Cleveland Browns in the 5th round, Shilo Sanders went undrafted. But here's where it gets interesting. Within hours of the draft ending, Shilo did something smart. He fired his dad as his agent. During their draft live stream on Twitch, which by the way, nearly 1 million people watched, Shilo straight up said,
Dad was our agent, but Dad hasn't been working out too good, so today I had to sign with an agent, bro.
He hired Drew Rosenhaus, one of the biggest agents in the game, and boom, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers came calling immediately.
I'm just grateful that the Buccaneers gave me this opportunity, bro. I've probably thanked God like 30 times today.
The Buccaneers signed him to a 3-year deal worth $2.965 million. Now, for an undrafted guy, that's incredible money. But here's the thing, and this is important, only $1,572 was guaranteed, which is basically nothing, which means that Shilo Sanders had to earn that roster spot. And at first, man, Shilo was killing it. Fan pages were tweeting about how he was impressing Tampa Bay Buccaneers coaches. Todd Bowles, the Buccaneers head coach, a defensive genius who doesn't throw compliments around, was singing Shilo's praises from day one. At rookie minicamp, Bowles said, like the rest of the safeties, he's very intelligent. He's very loud. You can hear him on the field making calls and everything. So he has a good grasp of things day one. One reporter even said that Shilo's footwork was maybe the most impressive of any rookie safety at practice. His intelligence and vocal leadership turned the head of Todd Bowles during rookie minicamp. And when Deion Sanders showed up to training camp to watch his son, because of course Coach Prime had to be there, Todd Bowles was cool with it. He said, it's a father coming to see his son, like all of us would be doing. In his first preseason game against Tennessee, Shilo came out hot. He delivered this massive quarterback hit that went viral. It was Tampa Bay's first QB hit of the entire game. Bowles said after that Shilo played tough.
Shilo played tough. I thought he went in and did a heck of a job. He had some good tackles inside. He had a pressure on the quarterback as well. He did some good coverage things, so he did a good job when he was in there.
But here's where the reality started setting in. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers safety room was stacked. They had Antoine Winfield Jr., an all-pro who just signed a massive extension. They had Tyke Smith moving from nickel to safety. They had Christian Itzian, who Bowles literally said weeks ago has already made the team. So Shilo was listed as a third stringer on the unofficial depth chart going into that final preseason game. He was basically competing with Kayvon Merriweather and Rashad Wisdom for maybe the fourth safety spot. Maybe. Before that final preseason game, Bowles made it crystal clear. This last week is going to be very important for those guys to show up, which means that Shilo did have a fighting chance to make the roster spot. But on August 23rd, on Saturday night in Raymond James Stadium, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers took on the Buffalo Bills. Bills. It's the final preseason game and Shiloh's final chance to prove himself. And he already was having a rough night. Earlier in the game, he got flagged for pass interference that led to a Bills touchdown. He was missing tackles, losing his footing, and it was not looking good. Then midway through the second quarter, with the Bills leading 7-3 and driving deep into Tampa territory, it happened. Shilo was covering Bills tight end Zach Davidson. They're hand fighting down the field, which is completely normal. Davidson's blocking him, maybe a little aggressively, maybe holding him after the play, depends on who you ask, but then Davidson kept blocking. He had his fingers in Shiloh's face mask and Shilo lost it. He threw a punch right at Davidson's helmet. The ref saw it immediately. Unnecessary roughness, ejection, game over, and on the very next play, the Buffalo Bills scored a touchdown. Todd Bowles' reaction said everything. He was visibly frustrated on the sideline. After the game, reporters asked him about it, and Bowles didn't mince words.
I know you can't throw punches in this league. That's inexcusable. They're going to get you every time. Got to grow from that.
Inexcusable. That's the word the head coach used. Less than 24 hours later, Sunday morning, Adam Schefter dropped the bomb. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have informed rookie safety Shilo Sanders today that he is being waived. His agents Drew Rosenhaus and Robert Bailey added that we're hoping he gets claimed on waivers. That's it. Dream over. $3 million gone, and his NFL career was in serious jeopardy. Now here's where it gets insane. Do you remember when I said that this wasn't Shiloh's first expensive punch? Shilo Sanders is currently $11.89 million in debt from another assault case. Back in 2015, when he was just 15 years old, he allegedly attacked a security guard named John Darjean at his Dallas high school after the guard tried to take his phone. According to court documents, Darjean claims that Shilo slammed his elbow into his chest and continued to hit him after he fell. The guard said that he suffered severe and permanent injuries, including a broken neck, damage to his cervical spine, permanent neurological injuries, and irreversible incontinence. That is just brutal. And here's the wild part, Shilo didn't even show up to the trial in 2022. So the court hit him with an $11.89 million default judgment. He filed for bankruptcy in October of 2023, trying to get out of it, claiming he only made about $193,000 in NIL deals that year, way less than people thought. So this dude already owed almost $12 million from one punch, desperately needed the NFL money to start paying it off, and then threw another punch that cost him his NFL career. Let's put this into perspective. There's been a lot of undrafted players that have made it in the NFL. Tony Romo, Arian Foster, Rod Smith, even on the Bucs' current roster, they have guys who went undrafted and became stars. But you know what those guys didn't do? Throw punches when they were given opportunities to make the team. One NFL insider gave a reality check about Shiloh's contract, saying even though it looked like almost $3 million, only $1,572 of it was guaranteed, and he could be cut at any time. The insider said that the Bucs had 3 undrafted rookies get $250,000 to $300,000 in guarantees this year. Even with those, it can be covered with practice squad salary. The translation of that was Shiloh's deal was basically nothing special, and he had zero room for error, and he made the biggest error possible. Meanwhile, on the same day that Shilo got ejected, his brother Shedeur had a very tough game in Cleveland. And honestly, I wanted to make a video on this, but I was kind of on the fence because I don't know if you guys have Shedeur Sanders exhaustion. So if you want me to cover his final game, just let me know in the comment section down below. And if it becomes a top comment, then I'll cover it. But the difference between Shilo having a bad game and Shedeur having a bad game was Shedeur was drafted. He got a real contract. He has time to develop. Shilo, he had one shot and he blew it. Here's what people need to understand about the NFL. It's a business. Todd Bowles runs one of the tightest ships in the league. The Buccaneers are trying to get back to the Super Bowl. They don't have time for guys who can't control themselves. Think about this from Bowles' perspective. You got a third string safety who is already on the bubble. He's been struggling in the game. He gets a penalty that leads to a touchdown, and then he gets ejected for throwing a punch. What message does it send to your team if you keep him? And remember, this wasn't some heated rivalry game in December with playoff implications. This was a preseason game against the Bills' backups in a situation that meant nothing except for guys trying to make the team. So where does Shilo go from here? His agents are hoping another team will claim him off of waivers, but let's be honest, what team is going to want a guy who just got cut for throwing a punch in a meaningless game? A guy who's $11 million in debt and might be distracted by legal issues. A guy guy who couldn't crack the roster as an undrafted free agent and may have quite a temper. The practice squad is possible if he clears waivers and the Bucks want him back, but after what Bowles said, after calling it inexcusable, that seems fairly unlikely. The CFL, XFL, or USFL might be options, but those leagues pay peanuts compared to the NFL. We're talking about $50,000 a year instead of millions. The whole situation is a masterclass in how to destroy your own opportunities. Shilo Sanders had everything going for him. His bloodline, the coaching praise, the opportunity, way more media attention and fan recognition than the average undrafted rookie would get. And all he had to do was keep his cool for one more game. Literally just not throw punches for 60 minutes. Instead, he let 3 seconds of anger cost him potentially millions of dollars and potentially his entire NFL career. You know what the worst part is? This wasn't bad luck. This wasn't an injury. This wasn't getting beat out by better players. This was 100% self-inflicted. Shilo's story is a reminder that in the NFL, talent isn't enough, potential isn't enough, having a famous dad isn't enough. You need discipline. You need control. You need to be smart. Because in the NFL, you're always one mistake away from being unemployed. And Shilo Sanders just made that mistake on national TV in front of his head coach and his last chance to prove himself. 3 seconds, one punch, career over. That's how fast it happens in the league. And that's how Shilo Sanders went from being Coach Prime's son with an NFL dream to just another cautionary tale about wasted potential. Everything just changed for Shilo Sanders' career, and everything is about to change in Major League Baseball. We have a completely separate video on Uni Diamond Talks channel. I'm gonna leave it in the end screen. I'll meet you guys there. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.